Students, whatever homework is given to you, you have to submit it on the very next day between 8 am to 1 pm to the given WhatsApp number, and it is compulsory to submit your homework as your attendance will be marked on the basis of your submission.
Good morning, children. Today we have learned about each formula, distance formula. That is related to the coordinated geometry. How can you find out the distance between any two given points? How can you find out the distance between that? That we already learned that. Its formula also we have learned that root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Now, in this session, we are going to derive another formula that is known as section formula. What do you mean by section formula? Section formula, before that, we got to understand that suppose one line segment is given, and in all that line segment, what point P is given, so you can say that this P divides this line segment internally into some ratios. Is it right? That ratio, we can write that AP upon P. That means this point is an internal point on this line segment. So we can say that this P divides the line segment internally in the ratio AP upon P. Now, how can you find out the coordinates of this internal division of this line segment by this P? What will be the coordinate of this point P? If you know the endpoints of this line segment, that means A and B are the endpoints of the line segment. And its coordinates, if you are knowing, how can you find out the point P? If you are knowing the ratios, if you are knowing the ratio divided by this point P, that if you are knowing, how can you find out the coordinates of the point P? Now, that is what we are going to see in this section formula. That means the coordinates of the point, I have written here the coordinates of the point as P as x and y. We want to find out that coordinates of that point. What are the various data given? E and B, they are the endpoints of these line points. One is A coordinate is that x1, y1. B coordinate is that x2, y2. It is dividing internally. I mean, this point is dividing this line segment internally in the ratio m1 is to m2. That ratio can be of any number. Now, m1 is to m2. Then how can you find out the coordinates of this point P? That means x and y. How can you find out in terms of this ratio and the endpoints of this line segment? Clear for children? No, that formula, but you have to do that for finding out the x value of this. That means x coordinate of this point P is equal to m1 into x2. That means it's corresponding x coordinates you have to take. m1 into x2 plus m2 into x1. That means crossly you have to go. m1 into x2 plus m2 into x1 divided by m1 plus m2. That is the pointer, that means coordinate, x coordinate of this pointer P. Means m1 into x2 plus m2 into x1 divided by m1 plus m2. So normally we can say that what will be the coordinate of the point P? Y coordinate of the point P, it will be y is equal to, again the same method, m1 into y2 plus m2 into y1 divided by m1 plus m2. This formula is known as section formula, and derivation is not at all important for you. That's why therefore I have not derived that one here. So what is the section formula? States that the coordinates of the point P of x of y, which divide the line segment joining these points, which are the points are A and B. Coordinates are also given x1, y1 and x2, y2 internally. You see, it is divided by this point P is dividing internally this line segment in the ratio. What is the ratio given? m1 is to m2. Therefore, its coordinate x will be is equal to m1 x2 plus m2 x1 divided by m1 plus m2, and m1 y2 plus m2 y1 divided by m1 plus m2. This is known as section formula. Now, its application. One more application is there in section formula. Suppose this point is coming as the midpoint of the line segment. That means this point is coming as the other things are same only. The endpoints are x1, y1, x2, y2, and xy is the pointer, midpoint of P. So here, how can you find out this x and y if it is the midpoint? So obviously we know that if P is the midpoint of this line segment, the ratio will be 1:1. Now substitute that value of 1 and 1 in this section formula. You can say that m1 into x2. m1 into x2 means 1 into x2 plus m2 into x1 means 1 into x1. That means 1 into x2 is what? x1 only. x1 plus x2 upon 2. By 2, m1 plus m2, that means 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Same way, here also, y coordinate also you will get by that way. 1 into y2 plus 1 into y1 divided by 1 plus 1. That means we get that y1 plus y2 upon 2. When this is the case, when that point is the midpoint. So this is the application of section formula only. So right, section formula already you learned that their definite ratios are given. M1 and M2 ratios are given. Now if it is coming as P is coming as the midpoint of this line segment, then how do you find out the coordinate of this midpoint P? That will be x1 plus x2 upon 2 and y1 plus y2 upon 2. Now you might have cleared about section formula and midpoint formula. Now section formula you already learned. How can you find out the coordinates of the point P which divides the line segment in the ratio m1 is to m2. Okay, and its coordinates are also given x1, y1 and x2, y2. How to find out the coordinates of P, that means x1, x1. Now related to this, some problems we are going to solve from exercise 7.2. Same time you have to complete the illustrations also, whatever it is given in the textbook. Now exercise 7.2, question number 1. What's the question that here one line segment is given, its coordinates are also given -1, 7 and 4, -3. What did you find out that? You have to find out the coordinates of the point P, and ratio is given that 2 and 3. That means 2:3 is given. That means AP upon PB is given that 2:3. Now there again you have to apply the formula only, nothing else here. X, Y you have to find out. First I am going to find out X. X how to find out? m1 into x2 plus m2 into x1 divided by m1 plus m2. That means 2 into 4 plus 3 into -1 divided by 2 plus 3. That means we get that 8 minus 3 upon 5. That means 5 by 5 1. That means it's a x coordinate. You have got plus that 1. Okay. And next we have to find out y also. Y what will do that? 2 into which one? Y coordinate. 2 into -3 -6 plus 3 into 7. That means 21 minus 6 plus 21 divided by 5 is equal to 15 by 5 is equal to 3. Very easy sum only. Only we are going to apply the section formula to find out the coordinates of the pointer P, X and Y. Now, next question, exercise 7.2, question number 2. What's the question that? Find the coordinates of the points of trisection of the line segment joining. Trisection. That word you will be heard before also. Trisection means what is that? One line segment is divided into 3 equal parts. 3 equal parts. That means here the line segment is given that AB. Its endpoints are also given, but it is divided into 3 parts. That means you have to plot 2 more points on this line segment such way that you have to get 3 congruent parts. That means AP, PQ and QP are congruent. Now question is that how can you find out the coordinates of P as well as coordinates of Q? I have taken coordinates of P as x1, y1, coordinate of Q as x2, y2. Now here you know that all parts are equal. Therefore what I will take that, suppose I want to find out the coordinates of the point P, that means x1, y1, so I will take that this ratio as 1 and this total ratio how much? 2, because 1 plus 1 total ratio 2. Now this point, now Q just you remove this Q now here. So ratio is that 1 is to 2. Now according to that you will get that x1 you will get by applying the section formula 1 into -2 plus 2 into 4 divided by 1 plus 2. You will get the answer 2. Same way y1 you will get that -1, that is 1 into -3 plus this part how much is that? It is 2. 2 into -1 divided by 3. So you will get that -5, 3. That means x coordinate and y coordinate of this point you got that 2 and minus 5 by 2. Same way x2 and y2. You will get that by taking this ratio as 2. Now you just leave that p point here. Only 2 and 1 ratio you have to take. Then you will take 2 and 1 ratio. Again the same formula you are applying here also. 2 into minus 2 plus 1 into 4 divided by 1 plus 2. So you will get that 0. By 2 you will get that by applying the formula you will get that minus 7 by 3. That means you will get this coordinates of this point. Q is that 0 and minus 7 by 2. So here nothing else, sir. We are applying the section formula solely. Here trisection was there, that's why I explained here. Okay, children. Look at question number exercise 7.2, question number 4. Here, little bit different from the other sum. Here ratios are not given. That means M1 ratio M2 you have to find out. The coordinates division, that means pointer, it is given that minus 1, 6, and the endpoints of this line segment are also given. By applying the section formula, how can you find out the ratio of, that means M1 and M2 ratio, how to find out? It's an important question for you. But you should do that. Here it is given that minus 1, 6, that means x and y it is already written that minus 1, 6 is equal to M1 into x2. M1 into x2 means M1 into 6 plus M2 into x1. That means M2 into minus 3 divided by M1 plus M2, comma. M1 by 2 plus M2 y1 divided by M1 plus M2. There also you substituted that. But here both the values you are knowing that. X coordinate also you are knowing. Y coordinates of this point also you are knowing. Any one of the coordinate I am taking minus 1. Minus 1 is equal to what will be there that 6M1 minus 3M2 divided by M1 plus M2. Otherwise also you can take 6 is equal to this one also you can take because y coordinate and x coordinates are already given. Okay, so I am taking x only. Here x I am taking, then here also x. From here x and formula form here I am. Now what you should do that you just cross multiply it. So you will get that minus M1 minus M2 is equal to 6M1 minus 3M2. Now 7M1 is equal to 2M2 by calculations you will get it. Now M1 upon M2. This one here you should just take care. When you are writing, you should not write as 7 upon 2 because when cross multiply you should get this one only. When you are writing the ratio, after that you just cross multiply and look at that whether it is getting or not. So 7M1, okay, 7M1 and 2M2. That means M1 upon M2 is equal to 2 upon 7. This type of sums are also important to find out the ratios. Now let's see 7.2, question number 6. What is the question number 6 is mentioned that if 4 vertices of a parallelogram are given and taken in order 1, 2, 4y, 1, 2, 4y, x6 and 3, 5. Then you get that parallelogram as ABCD. Those vertices A, B, C and D are given. But you should do that. You have to find out the coordinates of the pencil. You have to find out the values of x and y. Here one vertices, one coordinate is missing. Here also missing. This part you have to find out. For that purpose, what you will do that? You have to apply the midpoint formula. Why you are going to apply the midpoint formula? Because previous standard you have learned about the properties of the diagonals of a parallelogram. What is the property of diagonals of a parallelogram? It will be always bisected each other. Therefore, that means the midpoint of this diagonal BD and diagonal AC both are same. That means they are meeting at the same point. They are bisecting. That means midpoint of AC and midpoint of BD are equal. So midpoint of AC is equal to midpoint of BD. Now midpoint of AB and AC, when you write midpoint of AC is equal to, we already learned that formula. What was the formula? Midpoint find out for finding out x1 plus x2 by 2 comma y1 plus y2 by 2 is equal to x1. This one already you learned it. Now using that, what you can say that 1 plus x by 2 and y coordinate will be 2 plus 6 by 2. This will be is equal to what? Midpoint of PD. Midpoint of PD, how can you write 3 plus 4 by 2 and comma y plus 5 by 2. Now what you are going to equate, this equation is equal, so we can equate this x coordinate with this x coordinate. That means 1 plus x upon 2 is equal to 7 upon 2. 2 will be cancelled, so x is equal to 6. Same way, 2 plus 6 upon 2, y coordinate of this midpoint and y coordinate of this midpoint both are same only. So 2 plus 6 upon 2 is equal to y plus 5 upon 2. There you are going to get y is equal to 3. Now you got that x and y here. What is the value of y and x? You got that y is equal to how much? You got 3 and x you have got as 6. Now you might have cleared that how I did this sum. Here I applied the property of a parallelogram. Now moving to the question number 8. Question number 8, what is mentioned that is also an important question. It is also asked in the exams many times. A and B are the endpoints. The endpoints are given. P, the coordinate is also you have to find out. That means the point P divides the ratio. But ratio is not directly given. It is given like this way. AP is equal to 3 upon 7 part of AB. That means total parts. 3 part is that. Which one? AB. So you know that total part is 7. This much part is 3. So the part will be this much part 4. Now you got the ratio. What is the ratio? 3 ratio 4. Don't apply that 3 ratio 7. It is not 3 ratio 7. It is 3 ratio 4. Because this part is given that it is 3 part of this total part. Total part, how much is that? 7. So from there we will get that AP and PP ratios, will get that 3 and 4. And by applying the formula now, section formula you have to apply, you will get the value of x as well as value of y by calculations. Now understood that children? This one, the application of section formula. Whatever the sums which is given in this exercise, these all are based on the applications of section formula only.